Okay, welcome to Insights Over Espresso. I'm your host, Joe Marone, and today I'm joined by Vaibhav Sharma, the founder of Nectar Innovations. Vaibhav, welcome to the show.
Hi, Joe. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be on the call.
Well, we're excited to you know dig into this and get some insights from you. So, Nectar Innovations has seen impressive growth since 2024, focusing on custom apps, CRM, and AI solutions. Can you take the listeners back to the founding moment? What was the core problem you saw in the market that Nectar Innovations was really built to solve?
So, Joe, I started my career almost 22 years ago. And when I started, I was always in the technology industry. Back in 2018-19, I started learning about, AI. I started learning about how AI can transform the lives of people and how AI would be used, in modern days, how the AI transformation is happening. So keeping all that in mind, it was first my curiosity. And then I started sort of doing some POCs on my own before I start talking to people in my team. Around 2022, also, that ChatGPT came into existence and people became aware about Gen AI platforms. So around the same time, I thought now is a moment when we should officially start working on AI automations and AI agents and AI native applications. So around that time, even before that, we were working with a lot of clients and we were working on their application, web and mobile. We were working on CRM, but one of the things that I have experienced myself is, when you go to any client, they had different vendors, one for web and mobile, one for CRM, one for some other application. And we thought, let's try to leverage AI automations that are coming up. And, we started with Nectar, and the focus was to create AI native applications and help our clients transform their business processes. And the objective was, what are those things that, that the human don't need to do practically, that the things that can be automated. And from there, we started working on AI automations. And of course, it's been like now 3 years, we are working on AI applications, native AI solutions. And I believe 2026 is going to be the year of AI adoption. A lot of companies, folks that I talk to, they are super excited and they don't want to miss this opportunity.
I would agree. We can all thank OpenAI in 2022 for stepping into the arena and really helping us beat the drum, because AI has been around for a while. We needed some big players to come in and really start to elevate the recognition of it. So you mentioned in our pre-call the other day that starting with web and mobile, and you just mentioned it again here, development, and then kind of pivoting heavily into AI agents and consulting over the last 3 years. What was the catalyst for that shift? I mean, other than not wanting to miss it, and clients now are starting to understand the importance and the need for them. Has it changed your core mission?
It has, so I would say from 2015, I was primarily working on digital transformation, and I have seen, my clients, becoming more aware about AI, and they were asking questions. So it is the shift that I have seen in the market. Different industries from healthcare to energy companies, real estate companies, we have observed the gaps that where AI can be implemented. And I always believe in adopting newer technologies to improve productivity, efficiency. So I thought, let's implement few, use cases in our own organization before we go out and start talking to people. So keeping that in mind, we started using AI in sales and marketing and the entire GTM engine. With that, we got, a lot of confidence, and we felt that now we have successfully implemented this in our own company. Why don't we offer this as a service or as a product to our clients? And when I started talking to the clients in North America, and I have created some content on my LinkedIn, I saw a lot of response, not just from the clients in the US, but also from Europe, UAE. And at that point, I realized that there is a general awareness among small to mid-sized businesses as well as enterprise client. So I have seen that transformation happening, and people being very curious about it. So that was the point wherein I thought, let's go, let's take a deep dive into this and let's try to explore the possibilities. And today, I talk to clients across 7, 8 industries, and there are some of the common use cases that can be deployed across any organization. Of course, their internal operations may vary, but some of the use cases are specific to industries and companies, but then, so there's a huge awareness among the companies,
Yeah.
and there's a demand as well.
Have you found, because you mentioned a couple companies, real estate and some others, where they're non-tech. Have you found that the tech companies or the non-tech companies are embracing it a little faster?
I would say, it depends from sort of industry to industry. There are few industries where AI adoption or is faster. And when we are focusing on AI infusions, among different teams, I have seen some of the teams trying to adopt it easily, and they are more open to it. But in fewer companies or industries, people are not aware of what AI can do for them. They, of course, and they find it difficult to understand whether it makes sense for their business. And they are at a stage where they are still thinking about it. They are evaluating it, whether they should, on it, or from the adoption stage or now, or they should wait. I would say, it varies, but then the general thing is that people want to use AI. But if I'm sort of talking to a C-level who is more open in terms of adoption, they understand the nuances of, and then they try to not just bring AI, they also focus on their business processes. They try to bring in stakeholders, I would say AI champion in the company, so that there is somebody who is responsible for the implementation as well, sort of, and that helps because somebody needs to take the ownership of the entire process.
Yeah. That sort of answers the next question, but maybe you can add to it. But, with the research showing that, 70 to 75% of SMBs are investing in AI, how do you approach that situation where a non-technical buyer looks at AI as risky or confusing? How do you approach educating that particular client on the value and the safety of a custom AI integration versus standard app build?
So, when we work with such clients, we always first try to focus on their business processes. If they have a process which is very clear, and we can always tell them, why don't you, go ahead and do a software application development. But if they are trying to evolve their process, because I have seen, based on my experience, that it exposes the entire process. It's not just about the data, but also about who are the different stakeholders and how are they going to adopt this automation, how open they are. So if they have a team or if they have a process that can evolve with the implementation of AI, and if we can have stakeholders, so the entire process becomes easier. And people are more open towards use of AI in specific scenarios. And there is a and they are also open for human in the loop concept, so that there is somebody who is doing the validation as well. I have seen cases wherein people want to use AI, but they don't have time, to even oversee the process that is happening. So, or they don't have anybody who is responsible in their company. In those cases, it becomes difficult or practically impossible, because you need people, even if just one person, to manage it for you.
Yeah. You touched on in our pre-call
Uh-huh.
that the struggle clients have with, low code, no code builders. When a client comes to you after struggling with an off-the-shelf solution, what's the most common misconception they have about implementing AI themselves?
So, when people, I'm sure you must have seen this on various social media platforms. A lot of people try to misguide or saying that you can implement AI in 5 minutes, or something like that. I mean, so it's not about using Perplexity or GPT or any other platform that you can use straight away, but if we are looking at something wherein we are using low code, no code tool or anything, sort of creating a custom application, it requires some level of understanding of integration, some level of understanding of how to set guardrails, and also what you want AI to do. I can say confidently that among my customers who are also technical, they are not sure about using the platforms that helps in creating application on their own, like Lovable or Replit. I'm sort of naming them, but then that's a thing. People are using it, but they're not confident at all in the databases. They are not confident on the integrations or the backend that comes along with it. So they are using it primarily to generate the UI, and the UI designs are pretty predictable. I can, just based on my experience, if I look at certain UI, I can tell you whether you have used Claude or you have used Lovable to design that. Sort of people who are experienced using such platforms, they exactly know what's happening out there. So these platforms are good for creating the UI, but I'm not sure about how, sort of, whether you can use them from the security standpoint or for the heavy integration standpoint. There are cases where people are hesitant. There are cases where people are ignorant, but then we need to ensure that we take them through that transition where we educate them, where we guide them. But then, people need to trust that process. That's what the thing is.
Yeah. You spoke a little bit about some great examples in our pre-call. Could you walk the listeners through a recent, I'll say, complex AI agent or workflow that your team built, and what was the key learning that came out of that project?
So yeah, one of the key process on which we are helping, I would say, most of the organization is around sales and marketing
Mhm.
engine, wherein we are helping them in the data gathering. So we are helping them in the data collection process as well as the data enrichment, doing the deep intelligence on that data to create custom campaigns, whether they are email campaigns or they are cold calling campaigns, and then further nurturing them, proposal writing and those, and then also doing the lead scoring as well. So these are like 5 6 different agents that we have built, and we have put them together for our clients across different industries, whether it
Mhm.
is energy or whether it is real estate or even in healthcare up to an extent. We have built in voice agent in it. We have built in research agent, deep intelligence agent, enrichment agent. So these agents are helping our clients in their specific task. Of course, their internal, data sources or the integrations vary depending upon the industries in which we are delivering these solutions. And so we have built RAG in it, wherein we have used different kind of databases, and then of course these RAG solutions are custom in nature, primarily because the kind of information that they want us to use for building this application. So this is the most common use case. Probably I would say 80% of the applications that we have built for all these industries are using that, where we have used voice agents, and where we have you developed rack solutions, and then looked at different kind of CRMs, whether it is Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho, and others. So it's a good use case for any organization across any industry who wants to automate
Now,
marketing.
I'm curious, and this is a little personal, just
Sure.
because I'm a real estate investor. I've got 156 doors under management. You mentioned real estate. What specific part of real estate are you working with the most?
Yeah, so we are working with commercial real estate, wherein it can be a different scenario where you are putting properties on lease, or you are a real estate broker, or you are an agent. So in these scenarios, you are doing outreach, you are reaching out to the B2B clients, or you are reaching out to B2C clients, and you are organizing a site visit and stuff like that, or
Okay.
you want to do the deep research about the company, who are the stakeholders, what kind of growth pattern they are going through. So you may want to look at the deep research about how this particular company is growing, whether they are hiring, whether their lease is coming to an end. So you may want to look at all that data, and you may want to contact them and figure out their growth path, whether they need a new place or not. So those are other kind of typical use cases I have seen. And then all of these real estate agents and companies, they are using different CRMs. So they have huge amount of data, but then their data is in silos. They don't have a lot of information on that data. So we have created agents that are also helping them with the deep research about these companies and about these individuals, and also helping them with email campaigns and cold calling campaigns. And then these voice agent fix up the meetings for their sales reps, and they get sort of notification on their Slack channels or any other platform that they are using.
So Nectar offers UI, UX, backend, CRM, and ARI. How large is the team today?
So the team is around 100 people. Yeah,
Okay.
and we deliver everything in house.
So
Yeah.
you're delivering custom work across so many domains with a team, like you said, 100 in size. That presents internal complexity. How do you maintain project management, utilization, and quality control to prevent scope creep and protect your margins?
So, this happens all the time, I would say, wherein we have started working on the project, but then, there is a new concept that comes on the table, and client feels that they want to build something which was not discussed earlier. So we follow a very rigorous project management process, wherein we do weekly meetings with our clients. We use tools like Jira, ClickUp, and others, and we create user stories and stuff like that. We do weekly check-ins, so we try to make our clients aware of the progress, and our internal team is also in sync with that kind of working style. And when we are working on these projects, we try to create different use cases, and we try to deliver those specific use cases, so that if there is any scope which is additional, clearly know that this is how this is going to make an impact on the existing scope of work, and or should we create a separate use case for that. So we
Right.
do analyze case by case basis, and we try to ensure that we keep our clients in loop, and we keep them aware of what's going on and
Yeah.
how it's going to impact the project. But then that's the nature of the business. Clients have ideas, and they always want to sort of bring in new ideas, and so we help them. We sort of
Yeah.
work with them through the entire process, and that's the job, really.
I think the key to that is your communication that you focus.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we try to ensure that we meet them on a weekly basis without fail, and that helps us in sort of keeping that communication line absolutely clear. And I have not faced any challenges with that, because we try to keep them aware of the progress of the project. Yeah.
Great. You mentioned in our pre-call launching a RevOps product soon. Can you give the listeners a preview of what this product aims to solve and how it productizes some of the custom AI patterns that you've been building for other clients?
Sure. So, I have seen this based on my experience, and I started working on it because of the situation I was in. I had a pretty decent team, that was working on outbound campaigns, and they were using different tools for email marketing, different tools for data, different tools for warm up, different tools for cold calling, and everything was scattered, and then we had a CRM solution, and we just had entries of what's going on. So we didn't have a clear picture of what is not working. We were actually facing challenges wherein we were trying to figure out whether it is a problem with our data, or it is a problem with our copy, or it's a problem with the email landing, or it's a problem with the cold call. And we had no idea, to be honest with you, and we did that for a very long time. We had few success, but then that was not really helping us. So keeping that in mind, and when we started sort of looking at the entire thing, and the GDM was also evolving. It is still evolving now. So we thought, let's build a solution that can do everything, autonomously, I would say. And of course, we have to set guardrails, but then we realized we only need one person just to monitor the entire thing. So
Mm.
from So from the data gathering to, data enrichment to lead scoring, deep intelligence on that data, campaign setup, campaign management, and working on the sort of the nurturing side as well as the proposal generation, and then further working on those leads after off period. So we tried to automate the entire process. So we created this product called Think Chat. We are going to launch it in this probably early February is what we are looking at. So and then we also we build the entire voice agent in it, and these voice agent can be configured in different languages and stuff like that. And we can set the context for every lead or every industry on which we are trying to work based upon the kind of services that we want to sell. So we
Yeah.
created this platform, and I have started using it internally, just to ensure that we test it before we roll it out for the external users. So we have seen pretty good progress on that front. Yeah.
Good. Congratulations. We're looking forward to seeing the launch. What'd you say? Think Chat?
Yeah. ThinkChat.io. Yeah.
Okay. So you're based in New Delhi, but
Mhm.
Nectar is a global organization with primary clients in the US a lot.
That's right. Yeah.
How does that global structure influence, your ability to deliver high quality custom solutions across the different industries and time zones?
Well, I would say actually it is a blessing because we work in a manner when we are trying to deliver things for our clients when they are sleeping. And we talk to them when they are awake or when they are working. So it gives us, a lot of advantage in terms of time management and the project management, and we are able to do things efficiently. So while working with global teams and clients across the globe, it's all about communication and setting right expectations. And we try to focus on that every day, and that's a core that irrespective of the deal size, we treat all our clients in the same way. We have a very efficient team that is sort of coordinating with the client, talking to them, understanding their requirement, and working with them on a daily and weekly basis.
Yeah. So when we spoke earlier, you had mentioned that you're already building AI systems for clients, but you also mentioned using AI internally as a force multiplier.
Yeah.
You noted reducing your outreach team from 10 people to just one,
Yeah.
and yet scaling content production with fewer writers.
Yeah.
Where do you see the next biggest opportunity to use AI internally? Perhaps your pre-sales scoping or proposal QA or
Yeah.
delivery?
Yeah, that is correct. So those are the areas on which I feel definitely AI is going to make a big impact. The other areas that I see is around advertising. So we do run paid ads for ourselves, and so we have hired teams earlier, and I have seen that in my earlier ventures. These days, you do not need such big teams because when it comes to advertising, a lot of people don't understand of specific industries. But when you use AI, you can audit your campaigns about their performance and about how that campaign is performing, where you are bleeding the money, and where there are no results, or where the cost per click or cost per conversion is very high. I have started using AI on that front, wherein I have integrated AI on our ad campaign on our
Hmm.
Google ad setup and Meta ad setup, and I'm able to do analysis that is difficult for a human to do. For that you need very expert people, and they are difficult to get as well. So that is one area. The other areas are the ones that you had sort of mentioned earlier. I am looking at using AI for proposal generation. We do that. We try to ensure that we do not miss any aspect of proposal generation. We try to make sure that we do that at scoping level as well. Of course, we are being very careful while using AI when we are doing the scoping of the project, because we do not want AI to make assumptions, and so we have to set proper guardrails, and we need to ensure that it is matching client expectations, because AI can, as we know, is still at that stage wherein it can go anywhere. So we need to ensure that whatever scoping or proposal writing that we are doing is so there is a proper guardrail around it. So yeah, we are using AI on those fronts as well, but we are being very cautious about it.
That's good. You expressed a desire to change the application development cycle, shipping products or modules weekly instead of monthly. What would you say is the single biggest internal challenge or process bottleneck that prevents Nectar from achieving that kind of rapid, scalable productization right now?
So I would say it is dependent on the project complexity. In some cases, it becomes difficult to comprehend the entire requirement and sort of break it down into smaller modules. In some cases, it is easier because you can break down the requirements into small pieces and you can sort of deliver it from there. But in some cases, the projects are so complex that you need to take a longer cycle, and it can vary from 15 days to 30 days as well. So my target is always to deliver it on a weekly basis, but then there are cases when projects are so huge or the scope is so big that you won't be able to see something really working in production before 15 days or 30 days. So I face those scenarios every day wherein you have to do integrations, where you have to do unit testing, or you have to do regression testing to ensure that it is working fine. So there are exceptions as well, but it's more to do with the project scope, I would say.
Okay. You mentioned that a prerequisite for new hires is, and this was interesting, is understanding how to use AI and being good at prompt engineering. I would agree wholeheartedly. I mean, that it's garbage in, garbage out, right? How has this changed your approach to talent acquisition in a market where skilled AI developers are in high demand?
I would say it's not just about tech developers, but it varies across different spectrum. I would say even if I have to hire HR person or even a recruiter, I want them to be aware about different tools that they can use for hiring. If it comes to, UI, UX designers, or what kind of tools that they use to do their research, what kind of tools that they use to create amazing graphics. So, there are people who are known for the kind of graphics or the interactive graphics that they create. So I try to understand how they use AI in their research work. Even from the developer's standpoint, a lot of people use such tools. If they are, I would say, not very savvy at it, they will start using the tool and they will find it difficult to sort of decode it. I would say that they really struggle if there are any bugs in the code, they find it difficult. So I have seen those cases where people struggle using AI tools if they don't know how to do it. So my goal is to understand for every role how they are using AI in their day-to-day task, how they can be more productive, and how they can give me better deliverables in less time, because that's what we are trying to achieve, right? We don't want to hire people who are giving the same level of productivity like a pre-AI era. Now we want people who can give more productivity using AI. If they can even generate 50% more productivity, that is great.
Yeah. So for our fintech leaders
Mhm.
or founders listening who are considering a major AI integration, what would be the one piece of advice you would give them about navigating the process and selecting the right partner?
I think they need to take a step back and they need to see which departments they want to automate, which functions they want to automate. If they clearly know that these are the functions I want to automate, or these are the processes I want to automate because these are the client facing processes, or these are my internal, roadblocks from my team perspective. Based on that, then they need to select the vendor, because vendor either needs to be good at developing internal solutions that can help in increasing the productivity of their teams, or should have experience of delivering specific solutions that are client facing.
Okay. You shared an incredible vision when we spoke about navigating the AI development space. You mentioned the goal to be able to ship things weekly and scale rapidly. We touched on it a little, but hypothetically, if you had a magic wand and could fix one internal process right now that's holding Nectar back or slowing your ability to productize and scale, what would that one thing be?
I would say that one thing would be for everybody to be open about AI adoption and try to embrace it, I would say. Because people are thinking that it's going to take their jobs away or it's going to give them some kind of out which is going to hamper their performance. Rather, if they start using it and if they kind of trust, of course, with guardrails, that's going to help them in increasing their productivity and in improving their performance. As leaders, we can see that how they have transformed the company or their own performance by using AI or help their team members or help their internal departments. So that is what I look at now. I don't look at just plain numbers. I am looking at how that person is transforming their teams, their and even their performance by using all these solutions that are available.
Well, thanks for all your insights.
Thank you, Sharma.
Where can people learn more about you and Nectar Innovations and follow your work?
So they can go to the website nectarinnovations.com. They can follow me on LinkedIn. They can look at my personal website, vaibhavsharma.ai. So those are the three places where they can find
Okay.
me.
Well, thank you very much.